The murder charge against a Rochester man accused of shooting and killing a 17-year-old is dismissed. Alexander Weiss has been the subject of 2 mistrials for the shooting death of Muhammad Rahim after a traffic crash confrontation last year. Tonight we're getting reaction from Weiss's defense attorney. But first, KTDC's Linda Ha joins us live in the studio. Linda, it's been a month since the second mistrial, so what comes next?
Caitlin, after the last hung jury, we've been anxiously waiting to learn whether prosecutors will announce a third trial. The Olmsted County Attorney's Office announced today that without a unanimous verdict in sight, that won't happen. Alexander Weiss pleaded not guilty to second-degree murder in connection to the shooting death of Muhammad Rahim, arguing he shot the 17-year-old in self-defense. The key question in the case, whether Mr. Weiss exhausted all reasonable options before using deadly force. 2 trials and 2 deadlocked juries later, the Olmsted County Attorney is dismissing the murder charge.
It doesn't mean that Mr. Weiss is not guilty. That is not at all what it means. In fact, based on the 2 jury trials, we know that there were a number of people on those juries that did believe that Mr. Weiss was guilty. It's just a reality that we are not going to get a unanimous verdict in this case.
County Attorney Mark Ostrom's decision comes after weeks of reviewing the case, speaking with Rahim's family, jurors, and hearing public input.
Those were really difficult conversations, you can imagine.
He says justice has not been served.
They lost a loved one. They lost a 17-year-old family member, son.
And as much as he believes Weiss should be convicted, moving forward with another trial would be unethical.
A loss of life out of something as simple as that should never have occurred.
According to Weiss's defense attorney, the weeks leading up to this announcement have been difficult.
He's been anxious. He said he's had good days and bad. I think it's the unknown that's the worst. Not knowing what's going to happen. So he sounded extremely relieved.
And there's no doubt the incident and the case have been life-changing.
And the fact that the case was dismissed won't probably disassociate his name, with this homicide. So I don't know what Alex's plans are, short-term or long-term. I know he thought about moving. This case is tragic. And the fact that the case was dismissed doesn't make it any less tragic for everybody.
McGinney says the most recent jury split was 8-4 in favor of not guilty. Now, there's no law that bars prosecution of the case in the future, but that is unlikely. Live in the newsroom, Linda Ha, KTTC News.